All right, today we are breaking down a financial tool that's super powerful, but honestly, a lot of people find it confusing. We're talking about the qualified annuity. Let's get right into it.
So, you've done the hard part. For decades, you've been socking away money in your 401k or your IRA, and that is a huge accomplishment. Seriously. But then you hit retirement and face this massive question. How do you turn that big pile of savings into a reliable paycheck that you can't outlive? That's the exact puzzle we're going to solve today.
Okay, here's our game plan. We're going to hit 4 key areas. First, what a qualified annuity actually is. Second, we'll get into the tax rules, and trust me, this is crucial. Third, we'll take a really balanced look at the good and the bad. And finally, we'll help you figure out if this thing is actually a good fit for you and your money.
All right, let's start at square one. What in the world is a qualified annuity, and what does that word qualified even mean? Here's the most important thing to get. A qualified annuity is bought with money you have not paid income tax on yet. The two magic words here are pre-tax and tax-deferred. This is a huge deal because it means your money can grow and compound over time without taxes taking a bite out of it every single year. So, where does this pre-tax money come from? Well, you're not usually just writing a check for this. Instead, you're typically rolling over money that's already in another retirement plan, like your 401k, a traditional IRA, or maybe a pension. You're basically just changing the address of the retirement savings, not starting over from scratch. Okay, now for what might be the most important piece of the puzzle, the taxes. With these kinds of accounts, it really comes down to a simple trade-off. You pay the tax man now, or you pay him later.
This little table really connects all the dots for us. See, because you put money in pre-tax and because it grew tax-deferred, the bill comes due when you take the money out. 100%, all of it is taxed as ordinary income. The government always gets its cut, and in this case, it's on the back end. And notice that last line, RMDs. That stands for Required Minimum Distributions. It means that once you hit age 73, the IRS basically forces you to start taking money out, whether you want to or not.
And here's one more rule you absolutely have to know. If you try to take money out before you're 59 and a half, the IRS is going to smack you with a 10% penalty, and that's on top of the regular income tax you'll owe. So the big takeaway here is this is for the long haul. It's for retirement income, not for quick and easy access to your cash. You know, every financial product out there has its pluses and minuses. There's no perfect solution. So now we're going to take a really honest look at both the good and the not so good when it comes to qualified annuities. Let's kick things off with the biggest selling point, the number one reason people buy these things, income security. This is the whole promise of an annuity. It turns your savings into a steady, reliable paycheck that you literally cannot outlive. For a lot of folks, that peace of mind is just priceless. And here's the flip side of that coin. Remember that tax break you got on the way in? Well, you pay for it on the way out. Every single dollar you withdraw is taxed as ordinary income. That can be a much higher rate than the special, lower capital gains rates you might pay on investments in a regular brokerage account. It's a really significant trade-off to think about. So when you lay it all out, you can really see the tug of war. On the pro side, you've got that amazing tax-deferred growth and even creditor protection in a lot of states. But on the con side, you've got to watch out for sometimes high fees, not a lot of flexibility, and those RMDs we talked about that force your hand starting at age 73. So the real question becomes, are you okay with the cons, like the fees and complexity, to get the pros, like that ironclad income guarantee? Okay, we've talked about what it is and how it works. Now we get to the most important question of all. Does any of this make sense for your life? Is a qualified annuity the right move for you? This kind of tool really makes the most sense for a certain type of person. If you're getting close to retirement and your absolute number one priority is creating a guaranteed paycheck, and, let's be honest, the idea of running out of money keeps you up at night, then yeah, this is definitely something worth looking into. It is built for people who value security over almost everything else. But on the other hand, it is definitely not a good fit for everyone. If you're still in that wealth-building phase of your life, focused on aggressive growth, this probably isn't it. Or if a huge goal for you is leaving a tax-friendly inheritance to your kids, other tools might be better. And of course, if you need to be able to get to your money easily and without penalties, you should probably look somewhere else. You know, this quote from our research really just nails it. It all comes down to a very specific goal. Taking that big pile of pre-tax money you've worked so hard to save and turning it into a structured, predictable income stream that you know will be there for the rest of your life. So,
We'll leave you with this one last thing to think about. When it's all said and done, the decision really boils down to what you value more. Is it the rock-solid, sleep-well-at-night guarantee of a predictable paycheck? Or is it the flexibility to do what you want with your money and maybe chase higher growth? Answering that question for yourself is really the first step to knowing if a qualified annuity is right for you.